Hello, Fire Trap. So, I'm excited to be back. A lot has happened in less than 2 months for me. I got a new job in December, and then my stepmom and dad had a daughter, me a little sister, the 16th of December, and then I got a nephew Friday. So, a lot has happened for me. A lot has been going on. So tell me about any of y'all's New Year's resolutions, any new books you're excited to come out this year, top reads of last year, anything like that. For me, the most book I'm excited for, I believe, is Bonds of Hercules. I'm not sure when it comes out. I think it's later in this year of 2025. I'm really excited. I loved this book. It was a 5 stars for me, so I'm excited for the next one. And then I'm also excited for, I believe it's Entangled to come out. I'm not sure when that one's coming out either, but I'm really excited. So from now on, I'm going to be putting trigger warnings in all my videos of the books I talk about, because I've been seeing a lot of authors and content creators getting hate from readers for not reading the content or triggers. So I'm going to be putting that in my videos, and if you stay longer and read the book, that is on you. You need to take responsibility for it. Nobody can make you read. So the book we are going to be taking a deep dive in today is Labyrinth of Broken Vows, and it's based off the movie The Labyrinth, I believe is the name, with the David Bowie. I read it all today, which is Tuesday the 21st. Read it in a single sitting. It's only 235 pages. And it was a very quick read. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, 2 out of 5 spice, and then 20/80 smut plot. So it wasn't very spicy, but it was really good. It would be considered a dark romantasy book. If you're wanting to dip your toes into either one, I think this might be a really good way to start. It's very light on most things. Really good book. So the tropes are enemies to lovers, touch her and die. He falls first, but she falls harder, and then he crawls to her. So you can scroll away, swipe away, whichever, if you don't want any other spoilers after this. Now that everybody's gone. For this, we have a few characters that we need to really hone in on. So we have Brielle, I believe, is that how you say her name? I'm just going to call her Brie from now because I feel like I'm saying her name wrong. So she's our female main character. Then we have Thorn, who is the main male character / villain, which is the whole enemies to lovers thing. Then we got Henry, Brie's abusive husband, who is a knight under the king that they live in. So he's also, I think, considered a warden of sorts. So then we got Naira, who is the real villain in this story. And then we have Grom, who ends up being Brie's friend. And then Alric is an old man who owns a bookstore and is a father figure to Brie. So all of this is taking place in Riverstone, I believe is how you say it, and the actual Maze Kingdom in there. So this is a fairly short book. The only complaints I have on the book is that it was too short. Things felt rushed. I wish the trials were longer. I wish it was more in depth. I feel like the trials really, she was not pulling the weight that she was supposed to. I don't know how else to say that. Those are my only complaints for this book. Really, that's it. Everything else was done really good. It was written beautifully. Really good book. So going into this, we have Brie and Henry, who are married. He is abusive to her. He is a knight or a warden of sorts, so she can't leave him in this timeline, whichever world. Women are property, so she couldn't leave him to begin with. Henry refers to her as his little caged bird. So their home is her cage, and she's not supposed to leave it or anything like that, but she sneaks out on occasions to go see Alric and get books, and she is a deep reader. She's in depth reading, which is actually some of the quotes that I found from there is from her talking about reading books, and it's like her way of trying to escape reality, which a lot of us can agree to that, I think. So at least that's what I do. I try to escape reality with reading books. But with that, she is a beauty of the town, of the land, I suppose, because there's songs written about her, poems, and everything else, and Henry says he wants to protect her and keep her at harm's way by locking her up. Well, you know how that works. So we have Thorn, who is the Maze King, and he is in battle with their king, that the place where they live at in Riverstone, I believe that's how you say it. I'm just gonna call it Riverstone at this point. But he's at war with them, and he's known about Bree for a really long time. He watches her with his crow, and it just is a long story as we learn going on that he has been watching her a long time before Henry and her were even together. So that is one of the things that you have to go in there. A little bit stalker. That should be a trope too. A little stalker moment. But we go on, and then there are knights who go into the maze trying to have a peace treaty with the king. Both kings, both the Maze King and the Riverstone King. It's not what it's supposed to. It's a trap, and Henry gets taken as a prisoner from the Maze King. So none of the other knights want to go get him, and Thorn, the Maze King, taunts Bree and tells her if she really loves him or whichever wants to fight for him to prove herself to him, she would have to go through the maze to get him. Which is a lot like, the labyrinth and stuff like that. So there are trials that Thorn has made to not kill her, but to make her realize there is fire in her soul and is the she-wolf he believes she is. And these trials they're not really long, they're really vague. Grom is the one who's supposed to lead her through the trials, but I believe he only gets to one, and he gets attacked by shadow hounds. And the maze is moving because Naira is trying to kill Bree because she wants to be queen, not Bree. And in all 2 of the challenges, I believe, Grom takes most of it, and then Villa might be how you say her name. She dies pretty quickly, so I didn't bring her up, but she also helped with those trials. I don't think Bree did much of her work that she was supposed to. But then we go on, and she has the trials. She survives them. We have a little bit of conflict, really realizing that Thorn isn't really the villain. Henry is a little side villain at this point. Naira is the real problem. So we get to the point where Naira gets Bree and Villa and kills Villa and has Bree in a cell. That's when we see Thorn in actual full person. That's another thing I didn't like about this book, is that there's hardly any interaction except through the bird with Bree and Thorn, and I feel like there should have been so much more. Could have been so much longer, should have been beautiful, but we didn't get that. Still okay without it. We see Thorn do the touch her and die style of give me back my queen, but I do like the way he did things with Bree having the power on everything. So as we get in, they defeat Naira, but we find out, because Naira kills his crow, that his crow was actually his mother, and that is a really big thing because he thought she was dead. So we go through there and we mourn her, we feel for her. Everybody thinks Bree is the queen now. They go back and they have to decide what to do with Henry, and Thorn says it's up to Bree, it's her decision. Well, Bree lets him out, puts him on his knees, and asks him to say thank you, or even a thank you, because she let him out of his cage, and he could not bring himself to do that. So she unalives him and realizes she is the queen that Thorn has said she was, and that everybody sees her as. And then we go spicy moments, and then the epilogue is really cute because her and Thorn end up expecting a child, and then litter of shadow coils is really cute. That's all I have time for. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Bye.